Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up, execute goals regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's an art tool. Reflect on all the juice like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you fearing. And watch it all rise, the righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Like that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Hey. Yeah. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental how clean as a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.
Peace, everyone. I am your host, Universe Badger, also known as Kimberly Vertican, founder of Unseen Twisted Truths LLC and co-founder or co-host of the People's Podcast. Alongside me is Flavor Hype, and the Twisted team will be here later. We're gonna be talking about what are we talking about? We're talking about a place that many of us have experienced without realizing there was a name for it, the Chrysalis, the space where you know you are no longer the person you used to be, yet you haven't completely became the person you're growing into. Sometimes that space feels lonely. Sometimes it feels confusing. Things that once made sense no longer do. Certain relationships feel different. Odd habits, old habits. They become comfortable, uncomfortable. Your reactions began to change. You may even look at yourself and wonder, who am I becoming? We are taught to celebrate the transformation. We admire the butterfly. We talk about the healing growth, awakening, and becoming a better version of ourselves. Yet we don't talk enough about what happens in that place, that between place, that breakdown, the questioning, the isolation, the uncomfortable realization that some of the things once identified with may have only belonged to the version of you that was surviving. And then comes the metanoia, a profound change of mind, understanding, and perspective. So tonight, we're not just rushing out to become the butterfly. We're going inside the chrysalis because maybe that's the part of the transformation that feels like everything is falling apart. It actually is the sacred place where everything is beginning to rearrange. So, Flavor Hype, could you read the deeper meaning for me?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, first and foremost.
Yes.
I will do that. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Uh-oh. I think you froze. You
oh,
froze.
am I here?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, did you hear me while I was speaking?
Uh-uh.
Oh, snap. I don't know if, oh, goodness. Uh, Let me see. All right. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. I may not be able to, I don't know if I can access it on here because if I go to it immediately, it'll freeze me. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I can copy it into the private chats. Do you see the private chats?
Yes.
I will copy it into the private chats.
Okay. Go, go, Power Rangers.
Nothing will stop us.
Nothing. Okay, there we go.
Do you have it there?
Yes, I see it.
Okay.
All right. So the deeper meaning, excuse me, when we hear the word chrysalis, we usually picture transformation from the outside. We know what enters and we know what eventually emerges. What we don't see is the process happening inside. Metanoia, excuse me, give us another way to understand that process. It isn't simply changing your opinion. It is a deeper shift in the way you understand yourself, your experiences, and sometimes life itself. There can be a point where the beliefs, behaviors, relationships, expectations, and identities that carried us this far can no longer carry us forward. And that's where the chrysalis begins or becomes important. Sorry. It represents the space between recognition and transformation. You have recognized that something has to change, yet you may not know what the other side looks like. Now, that uncertainty can make us want to return to what is familiar. Sometimes we even mistake discomfort for failure, yet transformation can require a period where the old structure breaks down before something new can take its place. So tonight, we're exploring something deeper than simply becoming a better version of ourselves. We're asking, what has to be released for that version of us to exist? Let's have a good conversation.
Yay. All right. So when I get ready to go to the reflective, I'm sending it to you right now, and that's then. So
Okay.
it won't be until later.
Gotcha. Reflections. Okay. See it.
Peace, peace, divine creation.
Peace, peace. How y'all doing?
All is truly well in Flavor Hype.
Doing well. Doing well. Thank you.
So, do you know what the chrysalis is, divine creation?
Nah, can you explain it? I mean, I've heard the word, but I've never looked into it.
Okay. Do you know what it is, Flavor Hype?
as far as well, like basically like the butterfly effect. I don't want to say butterfly effect. That means something separate. But butterfly transforming from the caterpillar into the butterfly, actually.
I found out and I didn't realize, but it's not the only time chrysalis happens. Chrysalis happens to also berries, to trees, that
Mm,
space, anything that has an outer shell. So whenever that flower or whatever falls and goes into that outer shell and creates an outer nugget,
hmm
that'll be metanoia. So it's anything that has to actually go within to break down. The old version
Okay.
of it has to deteriorate from within a shell.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know that either until this came up, and I always, I always just thought it was about just butterflies, but it's not. It's anything with that comes within the shell to create into something different. So a nut
Mm,
before the nut becomes whatever the nut is after the fact.
okay. Okay. So that's kind of it's just the process, the transformation itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Wow.
People don't realize that, though. They don't realize how important that transformation is, though. They just think that, man, I'm in a weird state right now. I'm very uncomfortable. Something don't feel right. They don't realize that's because you're growing and changing. That's because you're evolving. You're removing the shell from the old version of you, like like a snake removing its skin,
hmm
so that
Yeah.
another version of you can come. But you have to sit in that place and don't think that you're dying. Don't think that you're losing something. Don't think that a piece of you is no longer going to exist, because that's not true. It's a very sacred place. People always see the butterfly and see how beautiful it is, but they don't realize that's not the magnificent part. It's that transformation that caterpillar had to go from being like a slug looking thing into this beautiful thing.
I think mainly because of the fact that we only see one and then it just becomes another thing as we see it again. We don't see the gradual changes that go on, just like with us, humans, because we see ourselves every day. We don't see it unless we take a before and then a way after picture. We don't really see the big transformation, so it doesn't feel like we're going through those steps because it's in real time for us. Now, if we were to go in a house and just kind of stay in that house for a few years or whatever, then just become this different version or whatever the case may be, and then emerge when everyone else sees us, they'll see the transformation at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we view it, because we don't see it as such a sudden thing. It's more gradual, so it's different from our perspective.
Yeah. So let's start off our first question. When did you first realize that the old version of yourself no longer fits who you were becoming?
Oh wow.
So I'm going to ask you that, flavor hype.
Okay. Whoo. Um, it actually took me being taken out of a place,
Mhm.
my home, my actual home. I had to be removed from everything I had known from, birth until about 15, when I moved from California to Alabama. Now, initially, I didn't think it was going to be good at all. I hated it, but I didn't understand that that was part of the transformation for me. And I had to become, the better version of myself, but I didn't know that's what was happening at the time. Because now I can look back and think, wow, that was really that that's not where I sit now, because it's pretty far from where I was as far as the things I was doing, but the personality was there, so the potential was there, but it wouldn't have been realized had I stayed where I was. So that was
Yeah.
when I realized the biggest change was I needed to be removed from that, and I hated it at the time. I didn't appreciate it because I didn't know. I was so unfamiliar.
So before we get too far, I want to say peace to Solo Boogie.
Hey, how y'all doing, everybody?
Hello,
All
hello.
is truly well. So Solo Boogie, do you know what the chrysalis is?
No.
No. See, a lot of people don't realize that. That's that larva state that that forms from the caterpillar before the butterfly. It's that state in between where
Oh, okay, yeah.
the old version of them is breaking down.
Right.
So I'm gonna ask this next question, and then I'll come back to you, Solar Boogie.
Mhm.
Divine creation. When did you first realize the old version of yourself will no longer fit who you were becoming?
Um, I was probably like 10 or 11 years old. I just didn't know how to go about it. I was always a different, peculiar child that didn't move like everybody else or whatever. I just didn't know how to go about it because at the end of the day, as a child, you still want to be in the in crowd. So I suppressed a lot of my thoughts and stuff or whatever, but I always knew that I was slightly different than at least the group that I dealt with. I
Okay.
ain't gonna say everybody. I'm gonna just say the group I dealt with.
Okay. Solar Boogie. When did you first realize that the old version of yourself no longer fit who you were becoming?
Um, hmm. I say probably like after high school, like all the things that I used to do when I was in school, like hanging around, I just stopped being around certain people. The environment changed for me. I went to college, and I think that's when it just kicked in. Like, I'm growing up, all the childish things. I just started maturing, and I just noticed, like, the people that I used to hang with when I was in high school and like in my old neighborhood, I just didn't. I feel like I didn't fit in with them anymore. So I was trying to find my people that I was that I was on the same path with. You know what I'm saying? That God was aligning me with. But I feel like that's when, like, right after high school is when I started noticing that.
Yeah. I like when you said the fact that you didn't fit in, because that's when I realized. When I realized that I no longer, the old version of me no longer fit to who I was becoming, is when things started feeling off to me. Like, I've always asked a
Mhm.
lot of questions and stuff like that, but when I started being like, wait a minute, second guessing my own decisions, and I started stopping myself from things, I knew that something within me is not comfortable being like that anymore.
Right.
When I started feeling like I was constantly being stepped on and used,
Hmm.
I was like, I have to step back and look and realize that it's not a me problem. Actually, it's because of what I allowed for so long in my life, that everybody became accustomed and thought it was acceptable. But now
Yeah.
I don't accept it, because I don't accept that version of me anymore.
Right. Yeah, like we start setting boundaries and we just,
Yeah.
start maturing and we starting to see like and sometimes in those moments you start to notice that like I think most of us like at a young age, like Divine Creations was saying, we just don't know how to navigate it.
Right.
But at those times we really are leaders. Like some of us are really leaders. So as we get older and we start to figure out life a little more, start to get to know ourselves, we start to get that feeling like, oh, okay, these aren't the people that I need to be around. I need to start being more self-aware about what I'm doing and what I'm saying and how I move. You know what I mean?
I think my transformation happened though completely after I fought for my life.
Hmm.
That's when I decided that it was no longer okay to be who I was. I still tolerated it. I still did some dumb things for the longest time. And then eventually I was like, something has to change. I
Yeah.
have to start doing something differently, because if not, then I'm not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
So, Flavor Hype, why do you
Well,
think you become uncomfortable when you don't immediately know who you're becoming?
the unfamiliarity. Us as humans, I find that we tend to want to know things right away. Why is this going on? Like we want all the explanations and the answers right then and there. When it's unfamiliar and we don't know and we can't find the answers right away, we get a little nervous. Yeah, I mean it happens. We that uncertainty always tends to raise our anxiety, which is understandable. But with growth, well, as far as I'm concerned, when I've grown, what I've learned is be okay being uncertain with certain things because I'm not going to be knowledgeable to every single situation and all aspects of it. I have to be uncomfortable with that uncertainty and just kind of trust the process.
Okay. How about you, divine creation? Why do you think that we become uncomfortable when we don't immediately know who we're becoming?
I feel like you answered it in the question because we don't know.
Okay.
You know, it's uncomfortable when you don't know what that next step is to a lot of people.
Okay.
So
How about you, Solo Boogie?
Yeah,
Why do you think it
I
is?
agree with both of them. You just don't know where it leads to. You know, the thing about it is, with growth, you have to be uncomfortable, but when you willing to change, you just don't know. You know, every feeling's different when you're trying something new. You know what I'm saying? So you just don't know where those things lead you. And like the first guy said, you know, it gives you a lot of anxiety. It kind of puts a little fear in you, makes you nervous, you know, because you don't know where it's gonna lead you to. You don't know if it's the right move. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then
Yeah.
some people they look at like what other people think about it. You know, sometimes you
Yeah,
can't worry about what everybody else think. You got to do
yeah,
what's best for you.
Yeah.
And the part of growth is like I said, being uncomfortable. You can't stay in the same place as being comfortable because you're gonna be in the same situation. So
So I have a little bit of a different answer, and mine is because I didn't trust myself.
mhm.
I let myself down a lot. So me not knowing was thinking that I was going to put myself back into harm's way because I constantly was a people pleaser. I constantly did a lot of things. So me not knowing who I was becoming was uncomfortable for me because I didn't trust me.
Yeah,
I didn't trust me. And that was for the longest time until I started learning to love me correctly and realize that I actually never let myself down. But I had to realize that because at first I always blamed me. Why didn't this relationship work? Why did my parents want me? Why did this person try to take my life? I blamed me. And then I
mhm.
mm,
realized that it's not me. It was the only part that I need to take responsibility is that I put myself in those situations. That's it. At the end of
All
the
right.
day, I cannot take responsibility for somebody else's unhealed mess.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
But
true.
it took me a long time to realize that. And that's where I became uncomfortable with the not knowing because I didn't know if I could trust me.
Yeah, and I definitely get what you're saying on that because like we were saying before, when you really don't know where something's gonna lead to, and you already been making a lot of mistakes,
Yeah,
it's like a lot of pressures on you. It's kind of
yeah.
like you want to go with your gut, you want to go with your mind and your heart, but you just can't trust it because you feel like you're gonna fail again. So
I let myself
yeah,
down a lot. But then I
yeah,
realized that I've always actually got me.
yeah, yeah.
So flavor hype. Can growth sometimes feel like grief because we're saying goodbye to the old parts of ourselves?
Before you finished asking that, I was about to say that exact same thing. Yes,
Uh-huh.
because you're letting go of what you once were.
Okay.
Even if it's not completely, a lot of parts of it have to go in order for you to grow. Oh, that's a bar. But the thing is, you know, it's someone said this to me a long time ago, not just to me, but just about things in life. As we're this can apply to different aspects, but as we're climbing like up the ladder, and it can be whether it's business or just life in general and our own personal growth, um, it's very difficult to climb up the ladder while holding on to something.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so we need that other hand in order to be able to grasp more securely as we go up each and every rung. If we're still holding on to something, first of all, it could just be dead weight. And
Right.
second of all, we're compromising ourselves because we're not grasping onto it as securely as we could. We don't
Mhm.
trust that. Sometimes it can be some people that you just kind of have to let go because they're not really, I don't mean in a mean way, but they're not really helping you with anything. So
Right.
once I'm gonna let them go. If they want to come up with me, they can climb up the ladder as well, but don't pull them up by yourself
Yeah.
because you have to make sure that you can progress as well. So yeah, that grief is going to come with some of the things that you have to let go of, whether it be pieces of you, parts of you. When that change comes and you have to let go of that comfort is probably the main thing.
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
that familiarity you have to let go of.
Divine creation. Can growth sometimes feel like grief? because we're saying goodbye to the parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, when I first started going through when I started, I ain't gonna say going through it, when I first started vocalizing and accepting the change, yeah, it felt like grief, but I actually feel peculiar now because when it's time to cut them off, I now delete with no issues, no matter who they are, no matter how long they've been in my life. And I find that peculiar sometimes because in that moment, I actually do want to feel a way. I guess the human in me wants to feel a way that I just had to let this go. But I really don't be giving a crap, whatever, and I kind of thought that made me cold hearted for a while, and I was like, nah, it's just not of me anymore, or
Yeah,
whatever. So I don't understand why it's still around, or whatever.
Right.
So if it's not of me, how can I have a genuine missing of it?
right. How about you, Solo Boogie? I was gonna call you Booga. Solo Boogie. Can some girls sometimes feel like grief because we're saying goodbye to the parts of ourselves?
Is everybody on here? Can y'all hear me? I can't hear nobody.
Uh-oh, we're on here, but
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
I can
can't
hear you. I can hear you now.
tell. Can you hear
I
me?
heard Divine Creations at one point, but I don't know.
Can you hear me?
It's
No,
skipping. I don't know what's
no.
going on.
Let her know that she's got to leave and come back. Flavor
You're
House.
gonna
Let
Uh,
her
have
know.
to.
okay, you might need to leave and come back because Universe Badger was speaking, and I don't think you heard her, but you heard the rest of us. So you might
Hmm.
need to leave and come back on and see if that works.
Okay.
So Solo Boogie's blind, so I can't do hand gestures or nothing.
Oh, okay.
Dope artist though. Um.
La la la.
So for me, I'm gonna say that growth did feel like grief, yet I learned when I had to stop drinking because I lived in it. I lived in it too much. It wasn't because I didn't want to feel it anymore. It's because I didn't want to revisit it if I didn't have to because I no longer had to live in it. So once I stopped drinking and I stopped removing that poor me, why me, everything happened to me, and I come realize that nothing really happened to me. It only happened for me. That mindset, I don't think growth felt like grief anymore because that old version of me doesn't even look familiar to me, anyways. Like, I don't even know who that is.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So
When
I'm
you decided to make that change, did you feel it out of necessity, or was there like pressure just from something else that you just didn't want to do it, and it was like, nah, I'm not going to do it, or did
no,
you just know that you wanted to do it for yourself and you felt good about the
it
decision?
was it was necessity because at the end of the day, I don't want to be tied to anything that owns me. I don't want to be controlled by anything that owns me. So when my mind is fixated on something that's not healthy for me, I cannot free myself from this realm if I'm still attached to things of this realm that aren't benefiting me.
Mm,
So I had to remove it for the fact of growth. I mean, every time I would drink after the time I'm over, because I was one of those functioning alcoholics, which I don't like the word, but when you can walk around being so drunk and you actually shouldn't be drinking anymore, but yet you're still able to walk around, but you don't remember any of it, that's not
Hmm.
healthy.
mm,
I did a lot of poor things in a different state of mind that wasn't controlled by me. So I had to remove it because it wasn't good for me, because not because of anybody else. Like my son see me naked, he showered me many times, I puked all over the place. It was not healthy for me anymore.
mm-hmm,
So I had to quit. And now I don't miss it. But same thing with sex because I'm a sex addict. So the addiction to sex wasn't healthy for me anymore. So I had to stop yearning for it and I had to give it up so I could heal from it.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
thinking that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say removing certain things would probably be best in order for you to recalibrate.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people would say, well, certain things are necessary. Obviously, you need to like eat and drink. So it's like if you have an eating disorder, it doesn't mean stop eating, but
No.
it's just to kind of recalibrate things and kind of monitor what goes on and understand what's needed and what's healthy and what isn't. Some
Right.
things are just going to be, I have to remove this because it's a detriment to my health, life, livelihood, and things like that. But it does take a degree of understanding and maturity to be able to recognize that and acknowledge it, then take the steps to change and do those things that are necessary.
So I want to say this real quick. It's because I was fulfilling a void. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
realize I was fulfilling a void. So
Hmm.
took one addiction and made it to another addiction, to another addiction, to another addiction because I'm fulfilling a void.
Yeah, that's how it happens too.
And once I realized that the void was within me, something I created that I could control and stop, just like the panic attacks. I'm not saying everybody can control them, but once you get to that state of mind where you have the power over it, that inner peace is a motherfucker. I'm telling you, that's a sacred weapon. And once you contain that and you can have grasp of that and not realize other people's actions have to become yours and their responses don't have to be your response, that inner peace of saying I'm checking out,
Hmm.
because we're now in a loop. We're now stuck in a cycle. Now we're not benefiting each other. And I've had people do it to me. Divine Creation has done it to me in conversations because realizing that I wasn't bending and he wasn't bending and we weren't meeting, he had to check out. He said, I'm just going to give you this because it's not benefiting either of us. That's a healthy mindset when you're able to do that,
Hmm.
because your pride and your ego gets involved. You want to have the last words and you want to seem like you're right and you want your opinion to be heard because you feel that you're right to be
Right.
justified.
Yep.
But when you realize it's all within you and that you're only pleasing you, it,
Hmm.
That's it.
it sounds funny now.
Yeah.
So the question was, Solo Boogie, can grow? What was it? Can growth sometimes feel like grief when you say goodbye to parts of you that of your old self?
Yep. Definitely. Not even just you, with others too. Leaving behind friends and family. You know what I'm saying? The people that you would think that would be right here with you, are that you would never think that you would have to distance yourself. Um, that can be hard, especially if there was a certain type of history or bond.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mostly trauma bonds. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts.
That can be, so can be a time of grief for that. But yeah, most definitely. I feel like when I first really felt it, of course everybody feels it with death, but I think the old me I had to let go was the person they was able to see. You know what I'm saying? When I lost my vision, it was like, okay, all the stuff that I was doing before, I'm not able to do now. I may be able to do some things, but it kind of hurt my feelings. Like, me playing basketball. I mean, I could still do it, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
think that hurt my feelings. I definitely agree with that. I do it every day. I still think like, dang, I wish I could go to the court right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Yeah.
Before we go on to the next question, though, I do want to give you your flowers for being so young in your 20s and realizing that you still have something to give.
yeah,
I'm proud of you
got
for
to.
that.
Yeah, it took some time to get there though. But I try to stay with it because I know there's others that's probably in worse situations than me. And I just try to be inspiring and motivate them, and show them my resilience and my drive, because I just remember being in that dark place.
Mm.
So now that I found the light, I feel like I should encourage others to find the light in their life.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's why you're my family. That's why I'm never letting you go. You have nowhere to go because I can see you. Just because you can't
Yeah,
see me, I ain't letting you go.
yeah, I appreciate that.
So the next question, Flavor Hype. Have you
Yeah.
ever tried to return to the old version of yourself simply because it felt familiar?
Yes, I have. And mainly Shoot, it didn't fit anymore though.
Yeah.
Like at the time, because I had grown from it, and I was like, let me go back to what I'm used to doing because I felt like that's where I was supposed to be, just because I was comfortable there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know this. This is convenient. I can just slip right into this and do these things and yada yada. But once
Right.
I had grown to a certain degree and was no longer a part of that type of lifestyle, me trying to go back, it was like, this doesn't fit me anymore now. I feel better doing what I was doing because I felt growth. And so I didn't want to be recessing. I wanted to make sure I progress. I wanted to continue on that road. And so I just felt more encouraged to not continue, or well, not continue, but I felt more encouraged to not go back to the old me and some of those old tendencies and practices and things like that. But yeah, I felt like I wanted to do it, kind of tried to do it for a minute, and I was like, nah, this isn't really me anymore.
Right.
How about you, divine creation? Have you ever felt like returning to the old version of yourself simply because it felt familiar?
No, but I would gladly return to my old self because at the end of the day, it is me or whatever, like God said, He created the good and the evil. And with the way that I think that God is within, then I accept the good and the bad that comes with me. But the bad only shows up when I'm dealing with somebody that hasn't elevated, and this is the only way that I can deal with them or whatever.
Right.
So I would give that version of them, and they probably don't want it, but that's the only way I can talk to them because they not where I need to be, so I can be who I've changed to be. So I've learned to accept every part of me. And if they get the lower side of me, then they warranted it. It was so I gave it to them. So I don't shake it or be bitter or nothing like that anymore because I only did it because they put me there. They wanted me back there, so I gave it to them to show them why they need to be happy that I'm not there anymore.
Mm.
I'm so grateful I met you in a transitional stage. I'm so honored and grateful that I met you in that stage of being different and accepting.
Oh yeah, I'm glad too because I was talking to somebody I haven't talked to in like 6 years, and they was telling me how mean I was and how much of a dick I was or whatever, and I was like, for real? I was like, I
Hmm.
always been a happy-go-lucky person, and then I had to sit there and think about it, and I was like, yeah, I was bitter
Yeah.
from about 5 to 10 years ago. Like I was good at hiding it, but I always gave people the business with 0 to 100 immediately,
Yeah.
and it could be over. It'll be over an assumption probably 90% of the time how what I thought they meant or
Mm.
whatever, probably 90% of the time back then or whatever, and that person didn't know or whatever, but it made me reflect on my past, and I was like, dang, I ain't know people was looking at me like that, like I was this mean person that every word I said was sharp and cold. I didn't know I was like that.
We have the most healthiest relationship that could be explosive at any second if we were somebody else, you and I.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I tell everybody, I'm like, the one thing that I learned, that for every positive there's an equal negative.
Hmm.
And with that aspect of learning that, I get why everybody has somebody in prison that they love so much,
I get it.
because that person was probably super great. Now
Mm.
the opposite side of that super great, just like mine or whatever, I love being holy and godly or whatever, but I know I can burn everything down if I need to. I
Yeah.
know I can and
Yeah.
lose no
Mhm.
sleep about it or whatever, and that might fear me a little bit, like that side of me, like yeah, please don't open that up because it ain't no chill until I say it's chill. Can't
I feel
nobody
Right.
tell me to stop until I say stop.
I feel that.
Right.
So, I'm glad I got a control of that, but I had to understand that for as great as I want to be, there's a equal negative that wants to come out.
Hmm.
It's natural though. I mean, it's nothing that I mean, we evolve every day, but that's just something we just can't run from. You know, certain things trigger that other side to come out. You know,
Hmm.
So, how about you, Solo Boogie? Have you ever tried to return to an old version of yourself simply because it felt familiar?
um, yeah. But then I had to realize, like what Divine Creation saying, uh, that other side was like, once you go through a situation where it's like you put yourself in harm's way or somebody else in harm's way out of just not being able to control that your emotions, is like, nah, we ain't gonna, I'm not even gonna put myself around these type of people, or I'm not even gonna put
Yes.
myself in this setting, because I know if something go left, this is what I'm gonna do, and I can't afford to.
Yes.
I got things to lose. I can't just be out here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have control of that. So yeah, I have before, definitely. Something like, but like I said, it's natural. Sometimes I step into it every now and then. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little argument about something silly, but it's like I would have to tell myself, like, all right, just breathe. It ain't that serious. Let's just walk away. You know, we ain't doing this. We not arguing about the little petty stuff today. You know what I'm saying?
I have a two part to this, and because you said something that really not triggered, but something that snapped something within me that I want to speak on.
Mm,
It, it's the fact of that when people say I have nothing to lose, those that say they have nothing to lose, you need to stay away from them.
all right.
Them are the ones you don't need to be around. When someone says they have nothing to lose, because
Yeah.
that's when they don't love themselves correctly. And I learned that, and that took me a long time to learn that because I didn't love me. So,
Yeah.
did I want to ever go and repeat myself and become into that version of me that felt familiar? No, I don't even recognize it. Not even at all. If anybody says this is you so long ago, I'm gonna be like, I don't know who that is. I talk on stories about stories, not as if they happened to me. There was something that was told to me. I am only familiar with it because I constantly replayed it a lot, not because I live in it. I
Yeah.
do not recognize me that who it was last year. I promise you. I barely remember yesterday, and I have a great memory. I just, when it comes to versions of me that are no longer of me, that don't fit me, I can't walk in them. Like Flavor Hype says, it don't fit.
Yeah.
It don't fit. But when
Hmm.
you said that, when people have nothing to lose, that really reminded me because a lot of people walk around this world like they don't have nothing to lose when they realize their life is the most important thing in this world.
Thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's why, like, I try not to put myself in those situations because I know how
Facts.
to get. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
Facts.
people just ain't self aware of that. It takes a, I don't know. It takes people. I mean, I know 40-year olds that still just crash out right now. And I was like,
Facts.
like, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, come on, man, you gotta
Yeah.
get a
Me
control of your emotions.
too.
This ain't, it ain't that serious, man. It's like take a walk and pray
Preach.
about it or something. You know?
Preach. Go ahead, Divine Creation.
Yeah, don't unfriend me, but I have nothing to lose, but everything to gain.
I feel that.
And
Mm,
That's a
and
different.
and and the reason I say that is because I don't own nothing or nobody that's in my life.
I feel
At
that
yeah.
the
too.
end of the day, the apartment people can come here and say, you're evicted, get out the apartment. You know, whoever can walk out my life and try to come back whenever they want to or whatever.
Mm,
But I have so much within me to gain.
right.
Facts.
Well,
So
so
That's true
I've
though.
always said that I have nothing to lose. Well, like even my kids at the end of the day, well, no
facts.
matter how much I love my kids, they can say, I don't want to talk or deal with you anymore.
You
Well,
know,
so I have nothing to lose, but I have everything to gain.
you said something earlier too that made me think too when oh, never mind, I lost it. It was that quick. Anyhow,
It'll come back.
it will
Yeah.
too because I don't remember what it was. It slipped that way, that quick. Flavor Hype. Do you some relationships naturally change when we begin changing internally?
Yes, everyone does, all of them. uh, the dynamics change because we're no longer seeing things the way that we did. And so the responses that we give others, the other people, other significant others that we have, they're going to be different. So they're going to react differently. So that can change the dynamic of how we respond, react, and communicate with each other. All of the things change, and it's there's no I can't say it's good or bad. It's just that it's different, and how you handle it is what's
Mhm.
considered good or bad.
Okay.
So anytime that we change our perspective on things, or we begin to see things differently, we begin to grow. I hope and pray that the person that I'm with is growing as well, because then we're going to be on two different planes, and it might be a little difficult for us to continue on that path together.
Mhm.
Um, and so that could change whether or not we remain together, and the degree of closeness that we have and all that. But once I start changing and seeing things differently and growing, then hopefully there'll be some adjustments that we can continue to grow together. But if we can't, then we had our season or seasons together, and it was great and wonderful. But we have to part here so that way we don't destroy one another or destroy ourselves in the process of trying to maintain what wasn't meant to be maintained for the duration.
Right.
How about you, divine creation? Can some relationships naturally change when we begin changing internally?
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Um, Even if they change, it's it might change for the better, but it's gonna change. Change is the only thing that's promised in life. Well, everything changes. Well, if it changes for the good or it changes for the bad, but nothing stays stagnant. Or whatever,
Right.
then even if they remain stagnant, then that's a change because they was probably evolving before they remained stagnant. Whatever, So yeah, everything changes.
How about you, Solo Boogie? Do some relationships naturally change when we begin changing internally?
Yes, I agree with both of them are saying. It definitely does. Some natural. I mean, things is not gonna stay the same. Like I said, staying stagnant. Like change is every day. We change every day, and we don't know. But the thing about it is not trying to force something to stay the same because you may be blocking something out of there that you need to learn from. Growth is
Yeah,
lessons. You know what I'm saying? And if you trying to stay comfortable in the same situation and you're not picking up the lesson in it, you're not gonna grow. You're gonna stay. Everybody's up here and you just down here. You know what I'm saying? And then some people, it's like with relationships, we can't um we can't force people to come with us. So definitely, I definitely believe that it changes relationships.
So I wrote something this morning and this rising, and it wasn't on behalf of the show, but it really resonates with it. And it was a two-part thing, and it said, "Grand acknowledgement. I had a dream and woke up in one too. Do you know what hurts in life? We put people in positions, our minds and our hearts, positions that truly don't belong in. They never asked for it. Or maybe they did ask for it, yet worse, they don't deserve it. We look at the storybook Happy Ever After, and the truth is, sometimes it's a twisted state of mind. They didn't ask to be the knight in the tale that we weaved. We gave them the role. We saw something in them, imagined that could be, or somewhere along the way, the person they actually were became intertwined with the person you believed them to be. We can love the ideal of someone so deeply that reality becomes difficult to accept. That's why alignment means so much to me. Attention can Attention can make someone feel chosen. Words can make someone sound ready. Potential can make us imagine an entire future. Yet potential without action is still only an ideal. Alignment is the fruit produced when what you say, how you live, and how you love, and who you are actually match. So the question becomes, do you truly love them, or do you love the thought we gave ourselves of them? Sometimes the heartbreak isn't losing the person, it's realizing that maybe what we saw in them was possible, yet possibilities and readiness are not the same thing. Maybe one day they will become the person that they spoke of being, Maybe they won't. Their journey belongs to them, though. Our responsibility is stop loving someone according to the ideal of who they could be while ignoring the fruit of who they are showing themselves to be. Because alignment isn't proving by possibilities, it's revealed through action. Woo.
Mm, yeah,
A- And
I'm going through that right now. That's
I had a dream last night, and I woke up and I was still in that dream.
Mm,
Hmm.
It was so vivid, so real, and I wanted to stay within it just so I could relive it to finish it. And part two is the grand acknowledgement. Have faith isn't just saying, it's waking up blindly in it. There's a difference between faith of a statement and faith as a practice. You don't get to claim faith only when you can already see the outcome. Faith shows itself when you can't see what comes next and still
mhm,
move accordingly to what you believe. And this connects to what I was just writing about in the relationships. Faith doesn't mean blindly believing in another person's potential while ignoring their actions. You can have faith in God, faith in your path, faith in that things will unfold as they are meant to, and still look directly at the fruit of another person is producing. Faith may require me to walk without seeing what's ahead. It doesn't require me to close my eyes to see what's in front of me. Walk blindly in faith, not blindly in people.
mm.
Um, how many times are you going to drop the mic?
Yeah.
So to answer the question, do some relationships naturally change when you're internally changed? That's because you're no longer that version. So that version of them no longer suits who you are.
Mm.
Hey, yeah.
So what beliefs about yourself did you once carry that you no longer believe today? Their flavor hypes.
Beliefs. Whoa, wow. I didn't think about that for a second.
Would you like me to come back?
Yes, please.
Okay. Divine creation. What beliefs about yourself did you once carry that you no longer believe today?
Um, um, that I don't believe today. That I don't believe today.
You sound like Mr. Roboto.
Only one I can think of is I used to think if somebody just came up to me and started talking, they had no reason to be telling a lie. So I was gullible and believed every damn thing that came out their mouth. Like I would say that me, my mama tried to convince me that I was arrogant growing up because I never thought nothing negative about myself. Like when girls would say I was ugly, I would come home and I'd be crying or whatever, and mama would be like, "Oh, you ain't ugly." I'm like, "I know I ain't ugly. I don't know what the hell wrong with these damn people." Like I never like I was like, "What the hell are they looking at? I'm fine as hell. What the hell wrong with y'all?" Like I never was negative about myself. I couldn't understand what other people were seeing negative about me
Mm.
or whatever, you know. So I think I was just gullible. I was gullible as hell. Like I mean, one time my grandpa told me he had a Winchester. He kept his rifles in the dining room dining area. I mean, and he was like, "Yeah, you see this one gun right here?" He was like, "Yeah, this gun right here." He said, if I line up 10 niggas in the elephant and shoot it one time, this bullet can go through 10 niggas in the elephant. I used to go around telling everybody my grandpa had a gun that got a bullet that can go through 10 niggas in the elephant. People used to just look at me and like be like, "Boy, shut the hell up." And then my mom be like, "Stop telling people that." I'd be like, "Grandpa ain't got no reason to lie to me." And
Yeah.
Right.
one day my dad told my grandpa I was telling everybody that, and he was like, "Boy, I was just playing with you, boy. Stop going around telling people that stuff or whatever you know." And I was like, I was so hurt that this dude lied to me for no reason.
Yeah.
Man. It's crazy, man. But nah, that's yeah.
Are you ready, Flavor Hype, or still come back?
No, I'm ready. I got something now.
Okay, go ahead.
What I used to believe that I could do was set an example for people to be good, and it would just influence people. And that shit didn't happen because, I mean, I don't want to just say the world, but I mean, it is. Some people, well, just the people are going to be how they are. And it's not necessarily a reflection on me with my inability to influence someone. It's just the fact that they just don't want to be decent human beings. And so I had to come to that realization. But I always thought, man, if I'm just good to people, they're not going to be bad to me. They're not going to treat me unkind. They're always going to be respectful. Nope, nope. It's just who that person is. If they're going to be like that, they're going to be like that regardless. And if you're good to them, they're probably going to do it more because then they can feel like they can take advantage of you. And so it's just like that. But I had to really, there's a level of discernment um, as far as me being able to tell, hey, again, I mean, I'm gullible too, thinking that some
Yeah,
people just take advantage of me like that. I always thought that, man, nah, people are so good that they're just going to see, I believed in the Hallmark movies and the Disney movies and all that, that
yeah.
all that was going to happen. But that's not the way the world is. That's just a great idea to have, but it's definitely not reality in so many cases.
How about you, Solo Boogie? What beliefs
Yeah.
about yourself you once carried that no longer that you believe today?
I don't know why I always feel like I could help change people. uh like looking back on it, like my friends that I used to get in trouble with when I started growing and just maturing and they were still doing the same things. I always thought that I could change them. Like always getting in their ear, always kind of like putting pressure on them to do right.
Hmm.
And it's just like what he was saying, like people gonna be who they are, and it's
Yeah,
just something that I can't keep believing in my head that I'm gonna go all my life and change people because I see the potential in them. Like it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like all that time and effort that I'm putting into trying to put into other people, I could be putting that into myself and just be a leader. If they see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. Move on. I can touch and somebody else. Maybe somebody else can feel it. But that
yeah,
was a big thing. Me growing up trying to be that, you know what I'm saying? Trying to give people potential and try to change their ways. So really I should have been working on myself.
Yeah, I got a two-part. One of them is I always thought I was a problem, and then the second one, I also thought I could heal everybody. It
mm,
was my job to heal everybody. It was my place, my job to make everybody different because they just had to listen and do it, and and like
Yeah.
see it differently. And it was my job to heal them. And I realized both of that's bullshit. One, I'm
Right.
definitely not the problem, and two, no, it's not my job to heal them because they're gonna heal when they're ready to heal. That's their lessons they must learn. I remember now what I was gonna say, SGF Graham, when you said about your children. I told a friend of mine, a sister actually of mine, I don't have friends, but I told a sister of mine that sometimes you have to be selfish and stop looking at what fruits you're planting right now and step back and look at the whole orchard of everything you've already planted. And
Mm.
you might have to be selfish with your own children at times and tell them, I know that you're hurting and you're going through this right now, but I have to focus on me.
Right.
mm,
And that's going to be hard to do. It's really hard for some people to do. And when you said that you felt like maybe you're a little heartless by how you said that, you just got to like cut things off and stuff like that. Sometimes people are going to look at you like you are heartless, but at the end of the day, that's their perception. They're not walking in your shoes. They're not holding your choices.
yeah, very true.
I
Go
agree.
ahead, Divine. So yeah, that's that. I had to let her know that, and she wanted to let me go right after the fact. I think I hit too close to her, but at the end of the day, that some people need to hear that,
Hmm.
and it's a hard part a pill to swallow, especially when it's your own children. And then our job is to help and protect them, and sometimes we're not leading them to fire, but if they put themselves in the fire, we gotta let them stand there.
Yeah, they got
Mm.
it's their own responsibility to heal. They got to learn.
Every lesson is their lesson. And I told that to my son. I said to my son, he's dealing with his own things right now. And I said to him, I can't give you advice because I didn't do better at it. And I can't tell you anything. I can't show you something because this is you're learning this on your own.
Yeah.
And that's
Mm.
hard. That's so hard. He's 34 and I wish I could save him. I mean, I can't. Because I was always the mom when he got arrested or anything. The cops they call me. I happen to call the exact same time. Always, every single time he's ever been arrested. And it's not like he's been arrested one time. He's probably been arrested 12, 13. And I
Yeah,
just so happened to call every single time and talk to the cops. And I never was living by him. And I just had that instinct that something wasn't right with my child. And I want to save him, protect him, and stuff like that. But that ain't gonna help him learn his lessons.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
I go through that with my siblings. Like, I feel like because my mom, she lives in Dallas and she's far away, and we got her. I mean, we got other family, but as far as like our intermediate, we got, and I've always, even since I was younger, even when she was here, I've always took the responsibility to like play the mom role, and I still do that. And I had to figure out because now I'm married now. You know what I'm saying? I have a wife, and I have to take care of me and her, and so I was having a hard time dealing with separating that and letting them learn their own lessons. When they
yeah,
put themselves in situations and I'm giving the advice and they don't listen, it was hard because I didn't want to see them hurt or going through certain situations. But I had to realize, like, well, I mean, they keep putting themselves in there. I can't keep
yeah.
coming to their rescue. Are they never gonna learn? I'm basically hindering them. So
Uh-huh. When I took shrooms, I'm not promoting shrooms to anybody, to let you know. But when I took shrooms, I realized a lot of things. Take away the title of your child, and this is going to sound heartless, but this is a reality that I it came to me. Take away the title of the child, take away the title of the parent, and see them for who they truly are, and realize our souls chose them. Our souls chose this path. Our soul chose all this so that we could heal ourselves and free ourselves from ourselves so that we no longer are stuck in this loop of repeated cycles because we're supposed to be able to create with our hands. And I don't mean building a house. I mean literally like to create with our hands.
yeah,
Like the roads aren't supposed to be where you have to pay to cross them. Everything's connected. This universe is such a huge place, but it's such also a very small place. Also,
yeah,
people
Mm.
think everything's different. They think that this world is there's so much separating everything, and it's not as difficult as you're allowing it to be. It is not. But yeah, at the end of the day, I learned that, and that was freeing. I freed myself from everything because I was 17 with him. We grew up together. It was my job to protect him, and I never lived a life without him in it. So I
yeah.
thought I was all up in his business. I mean, all up in his business.
Mhm.
And I felt I had to be. And then once I realized I don't want to be there, you don't want me there, and I don't want to be there. I promise you. I promise you, you don't want me there.
Is that the only child that you have?
Yes.
That's crazy.
But I
I
claim
know
everybody
somebody
else's.
that's going through that same situation,
Yeah.
and it's funny because the conversation when we was talking about grief,
Yeah.
they was asking like, have you ever grieved somebody that wasn't dead?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, yeah. Like I had to really think about it. Like at first I was like, and then I had to think about it. Like, dang, yeah, for real, I have.
Yeah.
It is hard, but I'm not a parent, but I don't know what the slightest feeling that y'all even have, but I do know how it feels to have to let people go that you truly love, that you wish the best for. You just want to be there and protect them and make sure they're doing right, but you just can't because it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just too much to deal with. It's too much stress. We taking too much on. And we got our own problems to deal with.
It is not even that either. It's simpler than that. It's a
Mm.
lot simpler than that. That's their story.
Yeah.
That's written for them, not for you. just take on and to save and try to rewrite. You
Right.
have no control over that. That's their path. Granted, you don't want to send your child into a situation where you could save them, but the thing is, it's not your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it sounds heartless at times, but it's not, because at the end of the day, no one's can save no one. We
Right.
only can save ourselves.
True. Oof. That's true.
It's heavy, and it is, you gotta do a lot. Like, I don't think of my son, I call him my son, but I don't think of him like that anymore. I now look at him as a whole person having his whole life. He's married, dealing with his
Mhm.
own problems. He's 34. Like,
Yeah.
I can't tell that grown man the nothing.
Yeah.
Anything he learns is on his. I don't care if it's being a good father, bad father, whatever the case may be. I can't do nothing with that grown man. That's his lessons. Them are his
Yeah.
lives. And I have grieved somebody that was still alive. I did it with my biological mother. I told her, I said, you're dead to me. And I'm not in a mad way either. I don't want no harm to you or no nothing. But I'm mourning you now, before when you do pass, I don't have to mourn you, because I'll
Yeah.
never speak to you again.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm.
It's
Those
not
decisions are
heartless.
tough.
It's not heartless. I swear. It sounds like it, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
self-love and healthy
Yeah.
boundaries.
Right. Boundaries are important.
Extremely. And it's healthy. To be
Yeah.
honest, it seems selfish. It seems mean. It seems cold. It seems like you don't care, but that's not empathy.
Yeah.
Discernment and empathy are two different things when it comes to love, because I watch The Shack, and I tell everybody to watch The Shack. Who hasn't seen The Shack, watch The Shack. But the guy had, Jesus said, oh, right now, if you, or God said, if you think that you can do better than me, then one of your kids can go to heaven and one can go to hell, and you have to choose. And the
Mm.
guy was like, no, I don't want to do that. Take me. And he said, no, that's not the option. The option is one can go to heaven, one go to hell. And he said, no, that's not fair. He said, they're all my children. Even the ones that are harming people are still my children. So now you're telling me I have to choose between my children, but you can't?
Mm.
It just made sense to me. It made so much sense to me. So the last question: if you're currently inside your own Chrysalis flavor hype,
Hmm.
what do you think this version of you is trying to reach or teach you? If you're in your own Chrysalis.
To trust myself more, believe in myself more. And actually, this is really what I'm going through now. And I'll kind of disclose this a little bit. Going through a relationship status change, uh, aka a divorce. And what I thought I had is now being kind of taken from me. So I have to reestablish myself and build a foundation, like almost by myself, without the person that I thought I was going to, stay with and be with and things like that. So this is beginning to be a huge transformation for me to understand, hey, I have to be able to do this on my own like I had before. So all the comfort, all the familiarity is being taken away from me. Still love the people you love, but understand you have to now do this on your own without those people there. So I said, okay. Now, obviously, there's still some help. That's some people who are helping me and being very supportive and things like that. But the main people I thought were going to be there for me will not be there for me anymore. So this stage of my life, this transformation, is me being more independent and just kind of going, in a way, going back to when I had to do it all by myself. But just with a different set of circumstances, with a different relationship now, and another child involved. So that's just what it's trying to teach me, just to kind of be resilient and understand I have to do this and provide for myself now without anyone really helping me.
Question: Not saying too much out of church because I know some things. How does it feel when you didn't even ask for this in the first place because you were set against it in the first place before you even got married, before you even had the child? You were so set against it because of your career, because of what you were doing. Yet, how do you feel now about you?
Well, it's it's part of the change. I had to change my thinking about it. I feel good about well, unfamiliarity is there, discomfort is there, but faith is also there.
How do you feel about you though?
About me,
Are
I
you
feel
telling
better.
yourself? Are you telling yourself you knew better?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, he paused. He froze. Maybe he's getting a phone call. He froze.
Mhm.
He may come back. All right, so we'll wait for him to get back. Divine creation. If you're currently inside your own chrysalis, what do you think this version of you is trying to teach you?
Um, I have no idea. Probably chill out. Stop thinking too hard. Well, like you already got it. You already know what you got to do. Just chill out. Stop thinking about all that, the extraness. The visions. It's great to manifest and stuff or whatever, but you got to understand that your manifestation can't control other human beings or whatever. They got their own manifestation that they working on too or whatever. So I had to. I'm still learning. Chill out or whatever. When people that I thought was supposed to be around, when they flip out into another way, stop trying to always be the fucking peacemaker,
Mm.
especially when they bring in the drama.
Oh,
Whatever.
stop talking to me.
Stop always making excuses for things or people on why they treating you a certain way, and just stop. Just that's all I hear is stop.
Stop
Just stop.
talking to me. Stop talking to me.
Mhm.
Stop talking to me. How about you, Solo Boogie? If you're currently inside your own chrysalis, what do you think this version of you is trying to teach you?
I think it's teaching me to leave people where they at, where they stand.
Ooh, that's not good.
It's okay to leave them behind, no matter the
Hello.
history, chemistry, the
Oh,
love you got for them,
uh-oh.
respect. You can still move on and be on two different paths without it being a beef, and know that it's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? And trusting the process, having faith, and where God is guiding me. I think, and not be so hard on myself about it. Not overthinking and blaming myself and wondering why and looking for looking for closure. Just let it go, let it be, and move on. I believe that's what it's teaching me right now.
Flavor hype, you can't hear us, can you?
Are you able to hear me?
I heard you.
Or
Flavor hype, can you hear us?
mm,
No.
I don't know if y'all hear me on here, but I don't hear nobody on. I don't hear nobody talking.
I can hear
But
you.
I'm about to leave the studio and come back
Okay.
in.
Okay. Okay. So if I'm currently inside my own crystals, what version of me is trying to teach? What is it trying to teach me? Um, Strength. Everything that divine creation said. Everything that divine creation said. It's teaching me that learn to let go and stop trying to help people and just let them be. I'll be okay. If they don't want you, then let them go. Flavor Hype, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear now.
Good. So,
Okay.
what I wanted to say to you, I want you to speak again, but are you beating yourself up over it, saying I knew better?
Sometimes, yes, I
Stop
do
it.
feel like I knew better, and
Go ahead.
the reason why I say it, and I think we all every now and then, in failed or whatever relationships, there were signs that were there that we kind of ignored, and so that's why I'm saying I kind of knew better, but you don't necessarily know to what degree all of that will happen and if it will continue for the duration of the relationship. So sometimes I feel like I should have known better, but there was no way for me to know it was going to, continue and then just kind of blow up the way it did. I won't say it blew up, but it kind of ended the way it did. I didn't think it was going to be that. And there were, far more good times than bad, but some of those things that showed themselves early on kind of manifested into something much deeper and a little bit more detrimental as time grew. So some of those little things like that is what I'm saying, why I'm saying that I knew better. But at the same time, I know it wasn't all my fault. Like there's no possible way. That's just, not happening. But yeah.
So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I'm going to repeat the question to you. One more question. Do you feel that you're a better version of you now than you were before you met that person?
Ooh.
Are you still there?
I'm still here. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yes, I do think I'm a better version now.
Okay. So do you realize, I'm going to tell you this because the universe wants me to tell you this, and then I'm going to let you have your own decisions. But you needed them to become who you are today, or you wouldn't be who you are today.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this question again. If you're currently inside your chrysalis, what do you think the version of you is trying to teach you?
The biggest thing that keep resonating in my head, and I thought about this during my time away before I came back, learn to love yourself and not be so dependent upon someone else's definition of love that they're trying to feed me. And it can be flawed. Like I have to trust in the own love that I have in myself. I was so dependent on the acknowledgement, the acclamation or adoration of someone else that I lost myself in the process, or I lost a whole lot of myself in the process. Now I'm learning to just love myself and not be so dependent upon someone else's thoughts and feelings on me. Because they don't, I'm not gonna say they don't matter, but they don't have as much of an influence if I don't allow it to have that.
What I love is that every single person is speaking to me through me as if it was me speaking. And I appreciate that, because that's exactly how I feel. Is just like what Divine Creation said, and just like you said. That may be my lesson too. Go ahead, Divine Creation.
Yeah. I just realized listening to y'all too that it was also another lesson in the fuck them people, you don't need them. Well, like that's really what it told me or whatever, because literally everybody I had to deal with until as of recently, or I would say within the last 10 years, they looked at my gift as I know that you're gonna leave me and find someone better when everything pop off or whatever, so I'm finna be this unstable creature or whatever. That way when you leave, it won't be no issue. And that was including my wife or whatever, my ex-wife. And I told myself, I like, why did I ever marry her? or whatever, I slowed down my momentum and everything for her insecurities. I dropped everything that God had in store for me for somebody else's insecurity that still ain't doing shit with their life. That was the biggest punch of being in my chrysalis.
Yo.
So, Boogie, if you're currently inside your own chrysalis, what do you think the version of you is trying to teach you?
Before, leave people where they stand
Yeah,
and be all right with it, because
facts.
like I told myself, I'm not gonna keep forcing people to see the potential in me. And just even the thing like just trying to prove my loyalty. Just put it like that.
Yeah,
Trying to prove my loyalty to other people. Like
yeah.
I really had to break off from doing that because I got that real bad. Because I'm really a genuine, loving person and respectable, and I'm always going overextending my hand and just trying to be loyal to people that just are not, wouldn't even think about doing the same for me. So that's why I had to leave people where they at, love them for who they are. And if they not for me, circle around and go somewhere else. You know what I mean?
You know, I give people so many strikes before I walk
Man,
out.
man.
And I need to go back to the one strike, you're done kind of rule.
Right.
I've
Right.
never been there. I don't know what it's like, but I gotta do it because at the end of the day, I really love who I am.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we are what we allow. You know what I'm saying? If we keep
Yeah.
allowing people to get over on us, and we keep because that's another thing I was doing real bad, especially when I lost my sight. I was just letting things slide because I was so worried about my mental health and everything. The stuff that people were doing that I knew they shouldn't have been doing, I never spoke up on it. And that was another thing I had to speak up and say something about it, because if I didn't, they were just gonna keep doing it and keep doing it and thinking it's okay. So then by the time when I blow up, they looking at me like the bad person, you know what I'm saying? But me
Yeah.
not realizing like, oh no, I should have been said something so that it wouldn't get to this point. So now everything is unstable now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get politely disrespected. Ah, divine creation pieces want to come out when I get politely disrespected. I swear, I just want to come undone. But I have that inner peace. They're lucky I have it because, oh.
Yeah.
I
So,
feel you.
so let's do the reflection and then we'll do the positive message and then I'll do the bridge. So,
All right. Oh, I think it left.
uh-oh. Oh, yeah, because you dipped. Let me do it again. It's easy. If anything ends, it says behind. Just know the last word is behind.
Okay.
Because, my eyesight ain't the greatest. So I think I got it. Oh, nope, I didn't. Just remember it's behind.
Gotcha. Okay. All righty. Reflections. Something stands out after this conversation. We spend a lot of time asking who we are becoming, yet transformation may require us to first understand who we've been. Not every version of ourselves was created because it represented who we truly were. Some versions were created because we needed them. A version that learned to stay quiet. A version that learned to fight. A version that learned to please everyone. A version that learned not to trust. A version that learned to hide vulnerability. A version that learned how to survive. Those versions may have served a purpose. The chrysalis gives us an opportunity to look at them without judging them and ask whether we still need them. Because Metanoia isn't just changing how you think, it's becoming conscious of why you think, respond, protect, love, fear, and move through life the way you do. And once you become aware of those patterns, you gain something powerful: choice. You can decide what continues with you and what ends with the version of yourself you're leaving behind?
Metanoia. And the only reason why I knew how to pronounce it, I asked and I put it in the group chat. Metanoia.
Metanoia.
It doesn't look like it.
My apologies.
No, it's okay.
Metanoia.
So the bridge to Thursday, and then we're going to do the thing. And this is exactly where tonight's conversation leads us into Thursday. Tonight we entered the chrysalis. We looked at what happens when the old version of ourselves begins breaking down and our perspective starts changing. Thursday, we're going deeper because once we recognize that you've carried different versions of yourself, another question appears. Who created those versions? Were they created from your authentic self? Or were they created from the fear, trauma, survival, rejection, expectations, relationships, family patterns, and the need to be accepted? We talk a lot about being our authentic selves, yet how many versions of ourselves have we created just to survive, to fit in, to be accepted, or to protect ourselves? Some of those masks were necessary at one point. The question is, are we still wearing them when we no longer need them? Thursday, we're having that conversation, talking to our lower self through our higher self, because transformation isn't only about becoming something new. Sometimes it's about finally having the awareness to speak to the version of ourselves that helped us survive and letting them know you don't have to protect us the same way anymore. So, what's your positive message, divine creation?
I don't know if I really have a positive message today, but just questions I challenge people to ask themselves. You know, one, what is the true you? Two, what does that mean to you? And three, how are you going to effectively pursue that side of you? Those are the three questions I got today for people to think about and ponder.
Put them in the chats, the chat on Facebook.
Okay.
All right. Flavor Hype, positive message.
My positive message: no matter what you are going through, understand that on the other side is more than likely the better you. It all depends on your growth during your chrysalis.
Yeah.
The perspective is going to change. So how you respond and your reactions will also have to change in order for that growth to reach its full potential.
See, everything happens for a reason. The universe needed you to come on here and be the host, co-host. Solo Boogie, positive message.
I'll just say during growth, even if you've been hurt, don't let what people have done to you change how genuine you are and your authenticity. Being authentic. Like, don't let nobody change your mindset on how you feel about yourself during growth. Because I think some people get confused and they start turning to be a different person. Sometimes for the good, but just stay authentic to yourself,
Yes. So my positive message will be love. And it's not the love outward, it's the love within. So many people are looking for that love and acceptance outwardly. Do you love and accept yourself from within? That's the important love, free love. Once you find that love of all, it fulfills every void and you don't have to find it from someone else. It just aligns. Reciprocity follows. It just aligns. But you have to become it to receive it. All right. Thank you again for joining this evening. If there's something, there's one thing I want you to take away from tonight. It is, don't rush your chrysalis. You don't have to have every answer simply because you recognize that you're changing. Some things are being released, some things are being understood, and some parts of you may finally be meeting the person underneath everything you had to do to become. Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're continuing this conversation with the talking to our lower self through our higher self. Continue this conversation with us at unseentwistedtruth.com, where the ears that will listen and where your opinion matters. And so does your story, because you matter. May your night be full of positive energy and high vibrations, filled with peace and love. Until next time, Ashe, everyone. Peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
All right.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. With our hearts uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so